Hello, everybody. Thanks for the introduction, Mark. I'm Mason Sheffield, and I'm part of Lowe's Innovation Labs. I'm the director of lab technology. And yeah, I'm here to talk about virtual commerce out of the lab and into the world. I was just running into a lot of old friends here and seeing how huge this event has come, or how much it's changed over the past 2 years, and also how much the industry has changed over the past years. Some of you may be wondering about Lowe's Innovation Labs. Is that really Lowe's? Yes, it's Lowe's, the hardware store, the part of reality. So when your toilet breaks, you're really happy that there's a physical Lowe's store not too far away to help you out. So Lowe's is a purpose-driven company, and our stated purpose is to help people love where they live. And as part of the labs, we extend that purpose by helping people love where they live by seeding the future. So forgive me if this is a graph that you've seen in many various different forms over the years, but this is just talking about change. Change in the world, change in business, change in technology. That white line is a linear path, which we like to joke is the linear path to doom. So if you're running your business on incremental changes, that assuming that nothing is going to change dramatically in the next few years, that's when exponential change can be a challenge for you. A lot of times when new technologies are introduced, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with the early years of virtual reality and augmented reality, oftentimes there's deceptive disappointment. We have the promise of the technology. We have the seed of what it could do to change our lives and change the world, but sometimes the hardware's not there. Computing power is not up to speed where it should be, and it takes a while to cross that line. I feel in the past, my slide had a little dot where the two lines cross saying, "You are here." Well, I think we have passed that dot. I think we're in the disruptive opportunity stage of events for these technologies. We've gone from, tens of thousands, maybe 50,000 Tango devices, to hundreds of millions of devices that people have in their pockets, ready to pull out AR experiences on iOS and Android, and it's a very exciting time. One way that we help Lowe's take advantage of these disruptive opportunities is by telling stories. That's the most human thing we can do, is to tell stories and listen to stories to be inspired. The process that we use, we call narrative innovation. We actually have comic book writers that we hire, professional comic book writers and comic book illustrators. We share our market research and we work with them to build stories. These are actual stories that have characters with emotions. There's a beginning, middle, and end. And what these stories represent, it's an intersection between future technology on different horizons, maybe 5 years out or 10 years out, and what that means for our customers, what it means for their lives, and how home improvement might fit into that story. Because of this kind of dramatic way of bringing disruptive new ideas into Lowe's ecosystem, we've had the opportunity to do some amazing experiments and proof of concept work. So here's a broad variety of them, and I'm going to go over them in the next few slides. So this is V1 of our exosuit. This is a passive technology exoskeleton that we developed in partnership with Virginia Tech to help reduce load on our in-store associates and to help protect them as they're serving customers, as well as for our associates in our distribution centers. We're actually now looking to build a scalable version 2 of this exosuit. We've done proof of concept in our stores, which we use as living labs. We've done installations all across the US and sometimes in Canada. This particular one is based out of Manhattan. It was called Bespoke Designs, and it actually had a very powerful 3D scanner, structured light 3D scanner, as well as a 3D printer. Customers could come into the store, and at the tablet, they could order customized products. So they could be customized door pulls or numbers for their home in a particular font. So instead of having every number in every font, you could just go to a screen, pick a few things, and print out your custom house numbers. And people could even come and take broken items, scan the pieces, and reconstruct them in 3D through our bespoke service. One of the opportunities that we focused on among all these different avenues that we've explored is visualization. So this is from the Home Improvement Research Institute from 2015 study, and it talks about visualization as a $70 billion plus opportunity. The reason for this opportunity partly is because people have the means, but they don't have the motivation. They want to do a home project, but they know the headache that comes with it. They know how difficult it can be to go through the design process and the building process and not knowing exactly what they're going to get at the end of it. So this is one of our narratives, and when we did this back in 2014, it was before the Oculus DK1 was even released. With our science fiction writers, we imagined a world where couples could go home hunting, and instead of seeing the home as it is, they could see the home that they dream of, even if they can only afford a fixer-upper at the moment. So to achieve this vision, there was no head-mounted displays at the time, at least not outside the military. So we started with iPads, and we built these large rooms with markers that would allow you to kind of see a home improvement project in a very crude form. We then moved to Oculus Rift and started experimenting with virtual reality experiences for home improvement. And that actually led us into some new and exciting opportunities for teaching our customers. One is to introduce them to the technology. Very few people have experienced VR. To this day, I don't know why I'm still surprised, but I'll talk to people and say, have you ever tried any augmented reality or virtual reality device? And they say no. And so we set up 5 stores with these HTC Vives and taught people how to do this how to place tile in their shower. And so in this experience, you actually get to get hands-on with all the steps of the process and all the tools. And we did neuro studies that found that people retain twice as much information when doing a VR experience, even a short one, than watching the same tutorial in a YouTube video form. There's something very valuable about having your hand on that product and seeing all the steps. And they can learn if they want to do it for themselves or potentially hire a pro. We then wanted to impact as many people as possible by bringing some of these experiences into the mobile space. This was a product, Lowe's Vision, still available in the Google App Store, on the Google Play Store. And this was our first Tango app. It allowed people to experience different products from Lowe's in their home by placing them in augmented reality. And you could also take measurements and filter the Lowe's catalog by what would fit in that box that you drew on the floor. I was recently visiting Professor Jeremy Bailenson. He has a virtual reality laboratory at Stanford, and he was talking to me about how much the technology has advanced, how earlier tracking was the big challenge. And there's so much to do with the hardware and nausea and all these questions about, is this even possible? And now he says the biggest challenge for AR and VR is now content. And that reminds me of a famous quote from Bill Gates, "Content is king." Well, as we were building all these experiences, one of the most difficult things was filling up the empty box. How many times have you tried an app and you get into it and it's a good experience, but there's only a few items, or temporarily there's only 10 or 15 things you can place? Well, at Lowe's, we've actually built a 3D scanning capability, and we have a 3D scanner on the East Coast and one on the West Coast that have been scanning thousands of Lowe's products. So here's a few pages of these products. These are all 3D items that have been scanned and processed, and they're in multiple LODs that can be viewed either in a virtual reality headset or even downloaded on your phone. And so by capturing all these items, we now have a catalog to let us build experiences that give you a what you see is what you get experience. This is a competitor's app that on ARKit, and many other people have taken this approach where they just say, hey, let's send a bunch of catalog images and people can hand model 3D assets and they can throw some textures on there and it'll be a symbol or representation of the object. Well, that can be a little frustrating because with these hand-modeled items, sometimes the scale is not right, and sometimes you can't really get that detail. These models are built from 3D scans. The ones on the left are not photos. Those are photorealistic 3D renders. Because we have high-quality 3D scanned content, we have all of the source information that can be scaled all the way from a photorealistic offline render down to a very quick loading 3D asset that you can stream over the internet and load on your phone. Why do we do that? Part of it is accuracy. This is my friend Ross, and he lives in Portland, and they were very excited to get an outdoor dining set. They looked at the photo online and thought it was perfect for their backyard until they got it and noticed it was for very, very diminutive people. So this is his not too happy face once he unpacked it all. And in the second picture, this is an item that is kind of like a trap on Amazon. These are, it says 3 school desks, and they were only $15. A lot of people saw that, and they clicked add to cart or buy it now, and it turns out they're only 2 inches tall. So, and there's actually a number of items that don't say dollhouse size or 2 inches, and people spend $40 on a dining chair, and it comes in a box this big. So in 3D, we've seen some of that same problem with hand-modeled assets where it doesn't look quite right. It's a few inches too short or a few inches too big. And with our 3D scanning process, we get true color and just higher fidelity in general. So here's an example of a ceramic garden stool that was 3D scanned. And we were able to capture all the subtle details of the bumps on the pottery as well as the very intricate design. And so this is more than I said this is a representative of the high quality we can achieve. Because we have this library, it allows us to feed into new experiences. This is a short clip from one of our newer version of Lowe's Vision called Lowe's Vision Pro, named TBD. But this allows you to quickly capture a room and cut out windows and doors and actually replace them with actual Lowe's products. So instead of just doing a 3D design that's representative of what you might get, you're actually getting a very accurate product that you can then add to cart and buy. I'm going to skip some of that. Because of the wide adoption of our delivery of ARKit and AR Core, our Lowe's mobile Android app, which is used by over 700,000 people and hundreds of thousands of daily active users, we can bring these AR experiences and our AR library to life to many of our customers. I'm actually going to skip this in the interest of time. Here's another experience. As you see from the debug menu, this is kind of a beta experiences. This is an endless aisle. Not all of our stores are 110,000 square feet. We have some very small format stores in New York where they don't have room for lots of vignettes to show many different variations of a product. With this augmented reality vignette, we can have a customer can quickly point at a vignette and replace it with a variety of tens of thousands of items. So we can have every single hardware combination, color combination, size, and variety of all the products in a catalog, and only taking up as much space as they can point at. All right. Another project that was brought to life through our augmented reality catalog was our work with Microsoft in the HoloLens. We worked with the Cortana AI team to actually absorb Pinterest pages. So you could come in with a Pinterest page to our kitchen design center, and that would actually be trained on a neural network on the Azure cloud. Once that was uploaded to the cloud, it would actually compare it against our own deep learning neural network model of all of our Lowe's products that we currently have for sale. And so we could do an alignment of the products that you've shown interest in, the styles and colors and finishes that you love, and feed those into your recommended items in this augmented reality experience. So we're now at the place where we want to take some of these higher end augmented reality experiences that can only be had in the store and bring that to as many customers as possible. Here's another fun one. This is a opportunity for us to replace digital photography. So as opposed to having a pure augmented reality or virtual reality experience, this is a virtual showroom where you kind of walk from this kind of magical AR portal into a photoreal virtual environment. This is a way for our customers to experience a product line or a design or the vision of product designers without having to design a whole room by themselves. It's a way for us to use our product library to build inspirational experiences. All right. So there's opportunities beyond just serving our customers. There's also some B2B opportunities that we've found. As we've been building our 3D library and processing all these thousands of assets, we found new and exciting ways to leverage them not only for customer-facing experiences, but to build a smarter way to manage our stores. This is an example of an Unreal environment, which is a virtual planogram. This would allow us to take new products that haven't been released and have not been put in the store, and our store managers can come and experience what a setup would look like. And they can adjust lighting or background or marketing graphics quickly and go through the approval process without having to physically move thousands of pounds of materials around a warehouse. So our visualization journey at Lowe's Innovation Labs probably looks very similar to some of you out there who've been working in the space. We have gone through many different platforms, many different types of ways to create content and media for these platforms, and it's been an amazing and exciting journey as we continue towards the ideal experience, the ideal way to meld together augmented reality and virtual reality in our lives. We started out on the iPad with Holoroom 1 in 2013. As we go through time, we adopted the Oculus. We stayed on the Tango platform for a very long time until it transformed into AR Core and AR Kit. And we're excited to continue evolving into the future on new platforms. I'd like to share that we are now partners with Magic Leap and early development partners on the Magic Leap 1 headset. All right. So we're very excited about Magic Leap and their hardware, and you'll be hearing more from them about developer events and releases over the coming year, and you'll probably be seeing me around as well. So, all right, and that's it. All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have time for one question. Before you answer that, if the next speaker can get mic'd up and ready to go, please do so. You can take one from the audience or take the one on the screen.
Sure. So I'll take the one on the screen first, and then I'll go to the audience. With the cancellation of Tango and depth sensors, are AR Kit and AR Core really good enough for consumer modeling and design? That's a really good question. We found that the augmented reality experience is very, very powerful, and it's powerful in small doses. AR Kit and AR Core don't have the horsepower that Tango once did, But we found that with a combination of authoring in augmented reality and also the option to build, do design work on the desktop or in a different sit-down mode, we can still have the wow experience of showing the design in augmented reality while trying to limit the length of the experience. So that's a very good question, though. Oh, was there more?
Yeah, we're about at time.
Was there an audience question?
Real quick, Lex.
All right.
So, yeah, my name is Lex. I'm a huge fan. You guys were one of the first in the space in Tango and still leading the way. What sets you guys apart really from like the other people in the space? Where there's nobody else in your industry that is in this space, right? What is in terms of strategy? Why?
That's a good question. So why are we doing this? And I don't think it's fair to say that there's no one in the same space. There's other retailers doing very dynamic things with 3D content. Maybe not as big of a bet in 3D scanning and maybe some of the apps. But what we're finding is we're trying to establish a foundation so that as the platforms mature, as the access matures and grows, we'll already have that ability to have 10,000 new items or 30,000 new items. So whatever headset, whatever phone, whatever technology can display it, we'll have the content and the power to deliver that content.